Discuss now with Keith Ellison, the Attorney General for the state of Minnesota. Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. We appreciate you joining us. So, listen, I have to tell you, the body cam footage has been released. CNN is bringing that in now. We're looking at it. We hope to get it on very soon. Have you seen it? Are you aware of what it shows and if it differs in any way from the video that we have all seen?
Don, I have looked at every available video that there is. I can't say for certain that I've seen every single video, but I've been reviewing video this afternoon, and I think that I consider myself up on what the video shows so far.
Mm-hmm. And can you say what is in that video? Does it differ in any way to any of the video that has aired or the video that you saw in the previous segment about Mr. Floyd's behavior and the police tactics and training and techniques and so on and so forth?
Well, what I can tell you is that there's a video of him being taken out of a car. He appears to be compliant. He's escorted up to near a building. He appears to be compliant. But the critical issue is that what happened to him after he was prone, handcuffed behind his back, face down on the concrete, knee into his neck. These are the critical issues that juries will have to decide, that prosecutors will have to evaluate that evidence to determine what, if any, charges should be brought forth. I can tell you that this case is being investigated, being taken very seriously. Everyone from the governor, the lieutenant governor, myself, have seen tape and expressed humane and human reactions to it. But ultimately, it's going to be a jury or a fact finder who's going to decide, what the fate of these officers is ultimately going to be. I want to make sure that this investigation is considered fair at every stage so that nobody can say that this investigation was not absolutely fair, charged based on the law, and then the consequences are also according to justice and to law.
Well, so but that said, let me ask you this, though, because Floyd died on Monday night. The officers involved were fired the very next day, Mr. Ellison. That is almost unheard of in situations like this. What does it say to you about these investigations?
Well, what it says to me is that the city of Minneapolis has taken this very seriously, that the police chief understands that in order to have a police department that reflects justice, law, fairness, and the proper relationship to the citizens, that people who don't uphold those values should not maintain their status on the police department.
This is what I spoke to the Floyd. I spoke to the family last night. I want you to listen to this. Is what the cousin told me, and then I get your reaction. Here it is.
Firing them is a good start, but we want to see justice for our family, and we want to see them charged. We want to have them arrested. What they did was murder, and almost the whole world has witnessed that.
What's your reaction to that, sir?
My reaction is that I completely empathize with where she is. I think that these officers demonstrated a level of conduct which was contrary to the policy, values, and training that is expected of them, and that's why they can't be members of the police department anymore. But I would just say to everybody, we have got to go through the normal course, because any good defense attorney is going to look for any T that's not crossed or I that's not dotted in order to try to say that these officers didn't get treated fairly. That's why it is important for the investigation to go forward. It is a right to be expeditious, fast, but also thorough, and then that they be charged if they will be charged. I'm even reluctant to say that they will be charged, because, look, we're going to let the facts guide us in that regard, right?
Understood.
And then
Understood. Yeah, you don't want to do anything that will jeopardize this case, and I understand that as a law enforcement officer and the chief law enforcement officer. So let me ask you this. It is your job to uphold the law. Listen, no one is condoning these protests. We understand that people are angry. I stated that to my colleague Chris Cuomo, and I can understand the anger there, but I don't understand in some way the burning of buildings. And we don't know how this fire started, but I understand the anger. But what do you say to the protesters who are out there, or if this fire was indeed started by one of the protesters or because of the situation there, what do you say to those folks?
What I say to them is that the overwhelming number of people are demonstrating their First Amendment rights, their outrage, and their demand for a fair, just resolution of this case. And the few people who decide to turn it into a wrong direction are not helping the cause of the Floyd family. The Floyd family wants to see justice. They don't want to see somebody turn this thing into something that it really shouldn't be, which is to some sort of issue having to do with some sort of violation of law. What they want to keep the focus on is what happened to their loved one, George Floyd. I urge all protesters, be safe, do the right thing, and make sure that Mr. Floyd remains the center of this, and that we don't get distracted by somebody's momentary outrage. It would not be it would not uphold Mr. Floyd's dignity to do something like that.
Well said, sir. Keith Ellison, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
Be safe. Thank you.